Welcome to Basket Talks new episode. This is Mir Demir Demirer from Basket Talks. In this episode, we are with L.D. Williams. Hi, Coach. How are you?
How you doing today, man?
I'm great. And how are you today?
I'm well. I'm in a different city, a different country. I'm in Toronto doing a little bit of scouting as we may end up playing those guys in the playoffs, depending on how the seedings fall.
Yeah, it looks busy and looks funny.
Yeah,
yeah, and
it's very crazy Eastern Conference right now.
I'm following NBA and it's really tough right now because of the playoff and matches. And thank you so much for joining me. I'm incredibly excited to have you on the show because, as you said, as an assistant coach of the Brooklyn Nets and scout, I know that your days are filled with a lot of jobs and responsibilities. And so it means a lot to talk with me and meet and find the time. And before we dive into the basketball world, I would like to hear, how's your life going? Everything is great?
Yeah, the season is wild. Obviously, we're making a playoff push. It's crazy. We're in the gym every day trying to get better. But yeah, no, life is good, man. Like I said, I'm in a beautiful country in Canada, in Toronto, in a great city. I live in Brooklyn. Everything's going well. I couldn't really ask for a better situation.
Yeah, nice to hear that. And I watched your dunk contest. Is it
yeah.
dunk? Yeah. And I saw you jump like Bugs Bunny, like jump so high. And I think probably still you are the same. I want to go back in time. So let's go back in time. So when and where did you first develop an interest in basketball?
Oh, man. For as long as I can remember, some of my earliest memories of the game are NBA on NBC. That was a big thing growing up, watching the Bulls, watching the Hornets. My dad was a big basketball fan. So, yeah, some of my earliest basketball memories are just sitting in the living room with him watching. My favorite player growing up was Kevin Johnson. Obviously, Michael Jordan. That's everybody. That's cliche. It's easy to say, but I loved Kevin Johnson when he played for Phoenix. He used to dunk on bigs. So I used to really get into Phoenix Suns games. Being from North Carolina, the Hornets were good. Muggsy Bogues, Glenn Rice, Dale Curry, Alonzo Mourning, Larry Johnson, Grandma, like that's what I grew up on. So just being from a basketball state in North Carolina, yeah, I think it was just destined for me to be involved in basketball in some capacity.
Yeah, and you played basketball as a professional. After that, you choose to become a basketball coach, right?
Yeah.
In your career. And what process has been made and how do you go about coaching in the NBA?
Everybody's different, right? Everybody has a different path to where they are. Was just using my network. I've been blessed and lucky enough to have been around a lot of great people who have kind of rose up the ranks through the NBA. So when I retired, I just started putting feelers out about coaching and letting people know that I wanted to coach. And I had a very, very strong aspiration to teach the game and to be around the game and learn the game on a different level. So I just went out to NBA Summer League, networked, and was able to connect with the Nets at NBA Summer League, and it was a match. And here we are 2 years later.
And it looks, I'm in Europe, I'm in Turkey, and it looks like impossible because you need to went to the Summer League and some team need to likes you and invite you in their team. And it's really great opportunity and it looks impossible. Is it impossible?
No, nothing's impossible. First, you have to love the game. That's the first thing. The love of the game is authentic. It's transparent. It's very noticeable in everyone. It's why I'm on this podcast right now. Clearly, you have a love for the game. And then basketball is universal. Obviously, with the influx of really good European players, the game of basketball is not just bound to the United States. You can come from any walk of life. You can be involved in the game even if you didn't play the game at a high level. If you can learn the terms and speak the language of the NBA, I think it's possible for anybody to come from anywhere and be a part of the league in any capacity.
Yeah, thank you. It's all about our mindset, I think. It's because it's NBA and wow. And then, as you said, you are working as a scout and, by the way, as a player development coach in Brooklyn Nets. And
Yeah,
you are really
so I'm in the video room / player development, and then I do a lot of other miscellaneous things like advanced scouting. So yeah, no, it's fun. In the role that I'm in, I get to be a resource to a lot of different people. I get to really touch on a lot of different things within our organization. So it's really fun that I'm not just limited to just only basketball on court and coaching on court. I'm able to do things like I'm doing now in Toronto in advanced scouting, and I'm able to get on the court, teach a little bit, and break down film and learn from our coaching staff. So in the role that I'm in, it's really fun. You get to touch on a lot of different things. You get to wear a lot of different hats.
Yeah, and because you love the basketball, you don't feel any tired or I'm very busy right now because you are fall in love with it, and that's funny. You're not tired of it, but it's look funny.
No,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, you get tired, nights are long, mornings are early, but it just goes back to the love of the game, right? Like, because I love basketball so much, it doesn't feel like work most of the time.
actually. I want to ask you because you are one of the best option to ask this question. All players, professional young players like me too, wondered what do you look for in a player when evaluating their potential?
A lot of things. Just speaking on behalf of myself, being competitive is half the battle. You can be a lot of things, but if you're not competitive, it's hard to succeed in this league, man. NBA is a dog eat dog. Guys want to rip your hearts out every night. So obviously the skill level has to be there. And then it just depends on like what fit you need for your team. You know, so that varies from team to team. Shooting is a premium. So if you can shoot the ball, that's definitely a great addition to your game. Being able to guard multiple positions, because the game is positionless now. So switching defenses are a thing, or being able to adjust and adapt to how the game is being played. There's a lot of different factors. You know, there's obviously a lot of really good players out there. So it's just a lot of it is need for your team. A lot of it is situational. A lot of it is just, do you fit?
Thank you. You say three things for evaluating players. Is those the same with your advices to a young player, or you want to add something different?
I think it's pretty much the same across the board. It's funny, I was just texting with a couple of my younger players that I coached before I was with Brooklyn, and Dame Lillard was talking about effort. He said something along the lines, it's not a direct quote, but it was, you know, if coaches are having to coach effort, then you're not as good as you think you are, basically. Like coaches should never have to coach effort. And I think that's transparent across all leagues, all levels, all age groups. You should always give 110% effort. Like, that's a non-negotiable in basketball. And I think that's a staple that I've lived by. I played by that staple. I believe it works. I believe that if you just simply go out and play hard, good things will happen. Better things will happen if you're a good player and you're able to shoot and pass and dribble. But a lot of the battle is just going out there, being competitive, playing hard, and doing the right things on the court.
Yeah. My almost all audience from Europe, and I want to hear your perspective, your thoughts about differences between European and NBA basketball. What is your perspective on the differences between European and NBA basketball system?
Very different. European basketball is more of a team game. All 5 players work together to get the best shot for the team. NBA is a little bit different, where it's still a team aspect to it, but you kind of want to gear it towards your best players. You gear the offense towards your best players having the ball most of the game. You gear the defense to stopping the best players on the other team. It's different, but it's also very high level, as we've seen in the Olympics and World Cup, European championships, and all of that stuff. Like, it's very high level basketball. And there's a reason why these guys come from their respective countries and excel in the NBA, because these guys are elite at what they do. The styles are different. The philosophies are different. But like I spoke to earlier, basketball is universal. At the end of the day, the ball is the same size. The goal is the same height. The dimensions of the court obviously are a little bit different, but the objectives are the same: to score more than the other team and to stop them from scoring more than you score. It's definitely fun whenever you see European players come to the NBA, and then when the NBA players play in European style tournaments, i.e. the Olympics, European championships, world championships. It's fun to see the different styles clash and different minds moving. It's fun to see.
We talked about players and coaches a little bit, and I want to talk about coaches more. And then, as an NBA coach, what advice would you offer to new aspiring coaches?
Man, fall in love with the process, especially young coaches. It's a lot of work early. You have to earn your respect. You have to earn your seat at the table. It's fun, man. Like, really dive into learning about all aspects of the NBA, not just what your team does, what you do specifically every day. Ask questions, ask a lot of questions. Even if you feel like you're annoying, ask questions. Be assertive, believe in your philosophies, like what you believe in, stand true to those things. Be a little bit stubborn and push back at times in the right settings. So obviously in front of the team or whatever, be proactive in all of that stuff. I think it shows a little bit of zeal. It shows a little bit of want to grow. It shows that, you know, you do have your own thoughts and you're not just piggybacking off of whatever your coach is saying or whatever your position coach may be doing. Yeah, man, just dive in. It's a wonderful profession to be in. The perks of the job are ridiculous. It doesn't feel like a real job if you do it right. I'm still early in my coaching career. This is year 2 for me. I can honestly say that the staff that I work with, the guys that I'm in the video room with every day are some of the greatest people, and they want me to be a better coach and they want me to be a better person. So just learn and understand what it is to be a coach or a player development guy in the NBA.
Yeah, and we can, it's similar with your advices for young players, because it's at the end, it's all fall in love with it. If you don't love it at the beginning, you probably will quit.
Very much so. Yeah, because it's not all pretty, right? Like everyone sees the games, everyone sees the little snippets of highlights, everybody sees the lifestyle, but not a lot of people see what goes into it. No one sees the coaches waking up at 5 to be in the building at 7 to have a coaches meeting at 8 before the players get there, then go through a full practice and then stay after practice to break down and prepare for the next day or the next game. Like no one sees that, right? Like everybody they see the finished product. They see the game, they see the outcome, they see the box scores. For me, that's what I love about it. I love the mind of it. I love the breaking down the game and the chess match between coaching staffs and organizations to try to see whose style is better. That's the part of the game that I'm drawn to, which is why I do what I do every day.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think the process that nobody sees, the process to final product, it's funnier than the final product.
Yeah.
The process is exciting, it's stressed, it's tough, and it's funny because you learn.
I was talking to someone, I wish I could remember the name or I'd say it. We had a tough loss a couple games ago and I was really upset, just didn't want to be bothered with basketball. And they were like, these aren't losses, they're lessons. In basketball, when you lose, like you learn about your team, you learn about yourself, you learn about each other. I needed to hear that day. And it made perfect sense. Like you lost because the lesson was lost, not because you lost the game. Obviously, in the grand scheme of things, you lost the game, but there's a lesson that needed to be learned, whether it's, did we handle the situation right as a coaching staff? Did we not prepare them enough as a coaching staff? Did we skip over something that maybe we should have taught them in pregame? There's a lot of things that go into the thought process after you lose. It comes back to self-reflection, I think. If you go back and start pointing fingers and taking the blame game, then I think you lose an opportunity to learn a lesson.
Yeah, that's a great sign. Let's move on to the final question. I really want to ask you, can you show us a way for become an NBA player? Like, let's say there is a young kid from Europe and wanna be NBA player. What would you give him as advice?
Man, keep it as a game. Don't let the politics of it all like steer your love from the game. Work on your craft every day. When you're young and you have aspirations to be whatever, you got to do that every day. There wasn't a day that as a young kid that I didn't have a basketball. I tell people a lot that I was born with a basketball in my hands. I played other sports, obviously. I did other activities. I enjoyed my childhood. But when it came to basketball, it was just something different. Yeah, have fun with it for as long as you can, because sooner the higher you go up, the less it more it becomes about a business. So as long as you can keep it fun, stay creative, be creative. The game is evolving. Use your imagination. Try to think outside of the box. Take care of your body earlier. That's something that I wish I would have done. I was athletic. I recovered very quickly early in my career. So I didn't necessarily do all the things that they do today to take care of their bodies. And yeah, just have fun, man. When it's not fun, hang it up. That's my biggest advice. Work your butt off, be competitive, play hard, keep the game a game, and be creative, man. I think all of those things go into greatness. And I don't have all the answers, but I think some of those answers are in the recipe of being an NBA player.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you for all answers, and thank you for joining me for this interview. And thank you for all again.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me, man.
Thank you. And hope to see you soon.
Yep, sounds good.
See ya. In this episode, we are with L.D. Williams. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoy. See you in next episode. Bye bye.